Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And I'm here for part 11 in the Natural Remedy Testimony series I've been putting together. And for those of you who are new, what this is I have people who follow me on Rumble, on YouTube, on Instagram, and X and other various places who send me their testimonies of how different natural remedies have helped them or their family or even their pets recover or heal from whatever, even if it's been a long time illness, no matter what it is. And today I have 3 stories I'm going to share with you, so I'm going to get right into reading these off. Here in Wisconsin, we don't have many poisonous spiders, but the brown recluse is one we have had to deal with. My husband had gotten bit many years ago. He assumed it was a brown recluse. I wasn't home at the time, so I didn't get to see it beforehand, but he immediately made a vitamin C paste and put it on the bite and covered it with a gauze patch. He also megadosed on vitamin C internally. It took away the pain and itchiness and healed within a day or two. Very cool. Brown recluse spider bites are pretty nasty. We have those around here too. Thankfully, I've never been bit, and thankfully brown recluse are called recluse because, they do try to hide away, but if you're not careful and you're stacking firewood and you don't have gloves on, you might grab one and get bit, and they can be pretty nasty. Then a few years later, I got bit on my upper arm, 99% positive it was a brown recluse. At first, I just put some essential oil on it. Can't remember what kind, but the big welt, almost like a hive, was growing. It was probably about 5 or 6 inch oval. Oh my goodness. Ugh. I decided to draw a circle around it so I could monitor it. Then I made a paste of bentonite clay, activated charcoal, and something I can't mention on YouTube, but the initials are C and S, and I've talked about it many times over the years. I slathered my arm with it and then covered it with a moist gauze wrap. It's important to moisten the wrap so the paste doesn't dry out. Then I wrapped my arm in plastic wrap. Not too tight, just to keep the gauze in place and to keep from getting black charcoal all over the place. Yes, it was messy. I slept with it on, and next morning I went to check on it. As I washed the paste off my arm, I realized I was also washing the line I had drawn, so I had to be careful. The welt did spread a bit beyond the line in places, but majority of it was gone. I repeated the process and later in the day checked it and it was completely gone. Very, very good. Ha! So much for the recommended urgent care visit and Benadryl dosing. God gave us all we need to take care of ourselves. So if you don't know, bentonite clay and charcoal are both really great for drawing out toxins from the body, whether that be being used topically or internally. This is why charcoal is often given to people if they ingest some kind of poison. So next person. It was because you shared your experience of you and Patrick being able to stop taking your thyroid medicine that I even found your channel several years ago. At the time, I was certain there was a natural way to live without the levothyroxine, which is what I was on. Patrick was on Synthroid. That I was taking and was looking for information when I stumbled onto that YouTube video. And if you'd like to see that video, by the way, it's from 2018. I'll link to it in the description box down below, and also the follow-up video I did in 2022. You both made me see that it was doable, and I might not be tied to my thyroid meds for the rest of my life, as every doctor I saw tried to make me believe. Yep, that's what they told us too. And by the way, just so you know, we were on them for 15 years and we've been off of them for 12, I think it is now. I had started searching for a natural approach because I didn't feel well on the medication. It did help my thyroid symptoms and my TSH levels evened out, but it also increased my anxiety. And then, of course, the doctors wanted me to take another medication for anxiety to compensate for that. I went through the same exact thing. I had tried several different types in the past, but my body seems to have a weird reaction to anti-anxiety meds. Yes, most people do. In fact, typically anti-anxiety medications and antidepressants will make your symptoms worse. And I never, ever recommend people going that route, ever. I figured that out right away. I was only on the antidepressants for maybe 2 weeks, a month tops. And then the anti-anxiety only took twice. And then nope, I'm quitting all this stuff. And note that I did wean myself off those. You should always wean yourself off antidepressants and never just quit taking them cold turkey. It's never wise. I am certain that it's because those meds are for a body that is out of balance with serotonin and so forth. My body is not out of balance that way, and adding those chemicals really threw me off. I've had reactions to anti-anxiety meds ranging from uncomfortable shaking to panic attacks. Yep. To not feeling the need to talk to anybody. Trying to mask a problem is never a good idea, in my opinion. Absolutely. It's been several years since I have seen your video about thyroid, so I cannot quote anything now that you had said, except maybe cutting out the fluoridated water. Yep, that was a big one for us, getting rid of fluoridated water. But I went on to read Isabella Wentz's book, Hashimotos Protocol, and a book by Dr. Janice Jonaha or Honaha. I'm not sure how that's pronounced. So it's spelled Joneja, called Histamine Intolerance, the comprehensive guide for healthcare professionals. The information they provided changed my life, as well as confirmed the need to eliminate fluoridated water. Not only was I able to wean off levothyroxine, but in understanding how histamines are involved with anxiety, I was able to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Since implementing parts of the protocol in these 2 books that I thought I could personally manage, my thyroid tests have been in mid-range normal consistently for over 2 years. Most of what I did was diet changes, changing from tap water to purified water, taking my vitamins and probiotics daily. Also, I wear an allergy mask. It has a changeable filter outdoors during my most sensitive time of the year, August through mid-October. When we get a good frost, I can usually tolerate going without it. This may sound very inconvenient for some, but it's a lifesaver for me as my blood pressure tends to drop when I'm overloaded with histamines. People even make fun of me for doing it. Some people get downright angry due to the hard feelings about mask mandates in recent years. So this is why we should never, ever assume and judge people based on various different things. You could be way off base and have no clue why a person is wearing a mask or not wearing a mask or whatever the case may be. I had one person get in my face, speaking loudly and angrily, saying that they couldn't hear me, and I know this individual personally. It's not always strangers that do not understand. Although I do try to explain myself often, ultimately I can't be bothered with what other people think of me or believe when it comes to my health. I have to take care of myself. I've had a long road to recovery from being disabled with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, so POTS, and then a bout of thyroiditis that proceeded into hypothyroidism, both mostly due to overload of histamines. I must wear the mask outside during ragweed season in order to stay on my wellness path. I cannot say that I am 100% better, as I cannot control my environmental factors completely, but 90 to 95% is good enough for me to function in life. So that is a big part of my testimony of natural healing. I truly thank you for your efforts to share your experience and information. I implement and share with others a lot of what you impart on your channel, and it improves my life and those around me. Thank you for that. Thank you so much for that testimony. So next person, this is a short one, but she's got 3 little quick testimonies here. The spring before last, through your channel and others, about the useful benefits of Mullen, I gathered, dried, and tinctured it. Then came cold, flu, COVID season. I would ask some friends to try it to help with their respiratory issues. With a smirk, some did. Mind you that I said it was a respiratory tonic. One of my son's co-workers, we'll call him Dave, started using it because he had a cough because my son gave him a bottle. Then Dave asked if he could get more and sent back the empty for refill. It seems that Dave was adding it to his morning coffee and started to notice the inflammation in his knees had reduced better than anything else he was taking. I made Dave his own personal bottle this year. Very cool. So I have to say, I'm really excited because some of you know, if you watch my Mullen video, the benefits of Mullen I put out a couple of years ago, that was the same year. I had been trying to grow Mullen for a few years. And then I got seed from a local friend who ended up, when she moved from Eastern Washington over here, she ended up with some plants from over there. I incorrectly thought she had brought the plant over, but she was bringing her planters over where some of the Mullen seed, which she didn't know, had fallen into the planters. So when she brought those over, the seed laid in that pot dormant for the winter, then started growing in the spring. And so she ended up with Mullen plants that were already ended up being acclimated to this area. Then she shared the seed from the flowers from those when it flowered the next year, so that then I could start some. And now I'm in the second year of my Mullen, and I can see one of my plants. Just keep in mind this video was shot a month before you're seeing it. So maybe by the time this video publishes, I might have some Mullen flowers because I'm seeing it getting ready to flower. So I'm so excited about that, to finally be able to grow on my own. So anyway, moving on. So her next little one here. The other instance was with a camping buddy who inhaled green dust. I believe is a mold dust released when cleaning out silos at his agriculture job. He was having trouble breathing at the campground, and I recommended my Mullen tincture that I had on hand to see if it might help. He did, and the next morning he was breathing normally. He'll be getting another bottle in a few weeks. I also made plantain balm for my son-in-law's psoriasis. He loves it, said his elbows are actually feeling softer and wants more. Very cool. So now I gotta let you know, I've got a couple of playlists I'll be linking to down below. Obviously, the playlist that this video is gonna go in, where it's the natural healing testimonies. And again, this is part 11. So if you're wanting to see the first 10 parts of that series, please go check out that playlist. And I'll also be linking to the playlist on herbs and more benefits and uses, where I include where plantain and mullein are both within that list, as well as many other herbs, nuts, seeds, oils, and other things that I cover. And I'm always making new videos to go in that playlist. I've got more actually on my list I plan on doing real soon. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you would like to share your own personal testimony or testimonies, please type that out and put it in an email titled Natural Healing Testimonies, and email that to raincountryhomestead@gmail.com so I can drop it into the appropriate folder. And just keep in mind, it might take a few months before I get to your story, because I have quite a few in there, and I do one of these maybe once every other week. And share any thoughts, ideas you have down below as well in the comments. And thanks for watching. Take care and God bless.